Well, welcome back to AED Summit, everyone. We are here back with new guests, as always, and today we have Abby Chao and Daman Harber. See, I wasn't going to screw that up until you told me that, and then it naturally starts. Yeah, absolutely.
And they're here with Record360. So who are you guys, and tell us what you do and who you are.
Yeah, we are a photo and video app that is specifically designed for heavy equipment and trucks. So imagine if you are checking in or checking out equipment and you want to get a really good high quality inspection, but you also want it to be dead simple for your staff. Record360 is basically the solution for you.
And you guys, one of the selling points, if I remember right, is you don't have to be connected to a Wi-Fi network or on the cellular network. You can do this remotely, and then when you get back in network, that information uploads?
That's exactly right. So if you're in a place that doesn't have great connectivity, you can still go through the full inspection, just walk around once, take those photos and videos, and then we'll take care of it on the back end, and it'll just get uploaded into the system once you reconnect.
And so you started kind of, from what I understand, on the rental side of things to kind of document the intake of equipment after a rental, verifying that the equipment hasn't been damaged. But you guys are currently moving out of, not moving out of that market, but expanding from that market. What are you guys getting your hands into now?
Yeah, so it's a couple different things. First off, we did start with rental, but we actually found that people are using that same product for all kinds of different use cases. So it could be check in and check out into the shop, into your service department, right? So that's something that has always existed as well for us. But the new thing that we're coming out with is essentially a solution to help in your service department to get your approvals faster. We call it Service Pro, and basically imagine your tech is doing some routine maintenance, notices that something else needs to be done and another type of repair. You can send photos and videos straight to the customer, get an approval with an e-signature, and then your tech can get right back to work rather than playing phone tag for days and maybe not having a good record to go back to.
So you're taking a video of like a proof of concept of evidence before it gets released and something happens, and you could go back in your data and say, no, that item that just broke, it wasn't broke as we took this recording, and now you're able to get that out to the tech and basically bring somebody in, and everybody's on the same page because of the product that you're putting out.
Exactly. We just make those customer conversations way easier.
Now, does the software have the ability, I'm kind of going back to my dealership experience when I sold equipment, do you have the ability to rope other people in on these conversations through the application?
Yep, exactly. So everybody, when they sign into it, they can see the conversation that's been happening so far, and you can also send messages to other folks within your team, or assign tasks to other people within your team. So if somebody else is responsible for the next step, you can shoot them a task, and then you'll be able to check when that's completed.
So is this kind of an independent standalone application, or is this something that's going to interface with software that the dealership's currently using? How does that aspect work?
So we do pull in data from your ERP system or whatever system you're working with, and then that ensures that what we've got at Record360 is always up to date, and then you can use Record360 on your communications, and then send things out to the customer from there.
Okay, interesting.
So being on the consumer side, I got to ask the question because I'm not techie. I cannot stand phone calls. I can't stand people wasting my time because we're in the industry now where there's a lack labor force. So we're out in the trenches having to do a lot more work. So are you guys finding a lot bigger response with someone like me that's out in the industry with an email and text message communicating with you, and you're also providing a faster service versus I got to call this person and then call the tech, and it's so instant, everybody's got the access now? Are you finding a big demand for this with technology changing the way the industry's going?
Yeah, I think what you're saying is exactly right. We're seeing a big increase in demand for our product, and the Service Pro, which Abby was talking about, that we're launching, was really in response to what our customers were asking for. And we, as a company, have been servicing the heavy equipment industry for several years, and we've kind of been at the forefront of the transformation to mobile technology. We've always been mobile first, and it was a natural progression to leverage the text communications, to further the benefit of our solution to our customers.
So out of your technology, what was the demand and the questions that made you guys come up with your product? What was the feedback that drove where you are at today?
So, like Abby talked about, we kind of started in the rental side of things because we were originally designed to solve a problem with damaged equipment. And because of poor documentation, paper-based documentation, there was a lot of problems around customer disputes and big financial losses tied to poor documentation. So the question we really answered was, how do we document high-value assets at moments in time? And the benefits of that to the customer relationship it adds trust and confidence to their customer relationship, because there's no question of what the condition was when a customer took a piece of equipment or brought it back. And the Service Pro product that's coming out is sort of like the next iteration, because while we start in the rental department for the dealerships, dealerships are now using our solution across the business. So almost from the cradle to grave documentation component, so when it gets delivered from the factory all the way through its rental life, service life, and in disposition.
So, and for the people that aren't here at the Summit Live right now, who is your ideal client and how can they really evangelize on what you guys got and utilize this to the next level? Like, what's the caliper here that sets you guys apart when you're brushing shoulders with the people? Because there's competition everywhere and somebody sets a bar. What are they missing by not being here running into you guys right now?
Well, I think the evangelists for our customer, or for us, are a lot of the AED customers. We're here because we've been involved with AED for a really long time. We have many, many customers here, and they really are evangelists. If you come by our booth, you talk to some of our existing customers, you'll hear them. In fact, the reason we're here is that every time we come, we pick up new customers because our current customers will bring their associates over from the same brand. And what people are missing by not coming to see what we're doing is they're missing out on an easy way to upgrade the experience of their techs and their employees, to grab technology in a simple way that improves the business without a heavy technical lift. And the difference between us and most software companies is we've always been operator first, operator focused, because I came from an operational role. And the software from day one was designed to be very simple to use, put it in your people's hands, and it just works, and you don't get a lot of pushback.
So getting into kind of the nuts and bolts of what you guys do, if I hire you guys to come in and implement your software, what's kind of the process? Is this kind of downloading a mobile app as a technician, or what's the process for getting involved? And then my second question is, where does that data get stored? Is this something where I need to worry about getting a media server to keep all of these files? Where does that information go?
Yeah, great question. So in terms of the setup, we'll actually help walk you through the entire process to integrate our app into your workflow. So you probably have some forms that you typically go through during the inspection process or whatever it may be. We can literally turn any of those forms into the digital checklist that's built into the app. So we'll walk you through all of that so that for your tech, when they do download the app, it's just so simple and obvious. It's like using any other modern app on your phone, so that'll be super easy. And then from the storage standpoint, we just take care of all of that for you. We take care of storing it. There are no limits on the amount of storage that you can use, so you don't have another thing to worry about.
And as the machine moves from client base to clientele, however, is that the data that you guys also ship with it? So they could realize where the machine's been, what's all been serviced, where the documentation is. Does that go with the machine, or is that something that you keep in-house?
So that's something that you could share if you want to. So for example, we actually have another piece of the product that helps sales reps sell, where you can choose the specific photos from your Record360 record to push out to your potential customer. But that's not something that we'll just display to anyone, if that makes sense.
So that kind of a little bit answers the next question I had. I'm assuming this all gets archived. So if I want to look at this 210 excavator that's been in our rental fleet for 5 years, I can go back 3 or 4 years and go, okay, here's where the condition started to deteriorate.
Yeah, exactly. So we do keep an archive for 5 years. and you'll be able to go back and see all of the records for that particular machine.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the benefits that our customers realize is a lot of people have data and equipment condition spread across. A lot of our dealers have multiple locations, and what's nice about our solution is you have that history for 5+ years, and you have it all in one spot regardless of which location it's been rented out of or serviced.
So another question, kind of going back to your new product, Service Pro. How do you guys see this kind of, to me, this is kind of a revolutionary type deal. This is going to change the way the industry operates. How do you guys see that being implemented in the actual bay of the, where the service technician is working on the piece of equipment? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I think the thing that's exciting about our solution is, again, our solution is used across the dealership from cradle to grave. And a lot of our customers are already taking inspections, and by adding this to the service department, you get a couple things. The techs are already comfortable and familiar using it. A lot of our customers were using it for this service element to document preventative maintenance, to document repairs. And by adding this wrinkle of the text communications, the ability to quickly get approvals and tie it into the work orders, they're basically upgrading their current process and allowing them to really make a big change in the speed with which they get things approved, and allows them to really operate more efficiently is what we're expecting.
Now, on behalf of a lot of technicians that I know that do not like talking to customers, the big question is this only the technician is going to communicate with the customer, or can you have your dedicated service manager be the communication aspect? How does that work?
Yeah, I would say most likely the service managers and the service writers are going to be leveraging the data collected by the techs to communicate and share out with the customer in a way that's most beneficial to them. And that's the beautiful thing about, once you have all the inspections and all the data in one place, it's easy for any interested party to have access to that, share it, and make decisions based upon that.
And just out of curiosity, is this a subscription-based type service, or how does the pricing structure work?
It is a subscription-based service, so that means that it's generally, depending on your product, but it's generally going to be focused on the number of locations that you have, which means that you don't have to be worrying about, use it, like if you're using it too much, we want you to be using the product as much as you can or need, of course.
And it's not on an individual basis to where if I lose a tech, which is happening all the time in this industry, I'm not having to constantly adjust the pricing structure.
Exactly. So
Perfect.
we try to keep it really simple.
Perfect.
So to go down that wormhole right there, how does somebody get in touch with your service and find you to take advantage of what you guys are offering? And whereabout are you guys located? And are you seeking new clientele, and whereabout? Is it like just exclusive? Is it across the world, the U.S.?
Yeah, we actually have customers all over the world. So basically, we're open for business. You can find us at Record360.com. And we also, our team was originally based in Seattle, but at this point, we're all over the country as well. So we're definitely excited to get to know new clients.
So I got one question here. Everybody's mobile. Okay, that's the tech industry. What sets you guys apart from the next competition without being mobile? What sets it apart? Is it your service? Is it the IT team that you guys in there? What's the bar that you guys hold that sets you apart?
I would say we've just been really, really committed to making things simple and built in a way that fits how you will work. So that goes into the fact that every product that we build is built from a customer request that we then work with and evolve over time. So we have super simple apps and ways to use our product, and we do that extra work of customizing it for your workflow, for your forms, however you're going to work.
I think when it comes to most guys in this industry, if it's not super simple from a tech standpoint, you lose us. So that does absolutely, that's important. So.
If it's not simple and I can't get to the point, I literally will go back to long form and walk away.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You make my yin to yang thing easy in life for a consumer in the industry. So I want to thank you guys for being on the show. Thanks to AED and Summit Live.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you guys for being on. It's been a pleasure. I can't get my words out this afternoon. It's been a pleasure. And for those watching, absolutely hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you are alerted when we go live. We will continue to go live today, and we will be going live tomorrow. We'll see you guys here shortly.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.